International Trade Commission bill, which we never had. And I reckon that recently some Ghanaian exporters and importers indeed, stage a kind of a demonstration that thing has delayed so much. I'm saying that we are in the process. We have done all the things we needed to do. The thing possible, I think, is at Parliament now. Once that thing is approved, you can find a way to prevent anti-dumping and countervailing. It is one way of going around the WTO rules, which we are a signatory to, as a means of protecting your domestic industries. And that is precisely what we're doing. So
how soon do you think that will come to pass?
Oh, very soon. But what we needed to do, we had even agreed and signed. But what happens is that it ought to be ratified. Because when you sign an international agreement, it cannot be implemented, it cannot be enforced with the legal backing until you ratify it. And the ratification can only be done by Parliament. So what we did was that we had a series of meetings with members of Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, and industries, and also on finance. We have had meetings with them to explain to them the rationale. All those things have been done. The bill has actually been prepared, went to Parliament, Cabinet approved, and we are working on it. The only, indeed, institution that is clothed with the power to make laws is not the executive, is the legislative arm of government. And these things will be done pretty soon. And I am very convinced that in the shortest possible time, we would have had the International Trade Commission bill, passed by Parliament, and we can find a way. But until even when we do that, it is important to know that this direct government intervention is one way that can actually help. Support them. And some poultry farmers have been identified for some assistance to expand so that we can do it. But lastly, you can't prevent, or you can't say don't import ABCD. You'll be violating an international law.
Now, you're watching Business Time. We're having a discussion around Ghana's trade locally and internationally as well. We've thrown the spotlight on a few agreements and then also retail laws in Ghana. By way of reminder, if you missed the first part of the program, I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Suavemente, bésame, que quiero sentir tus labios besándome.
Giant Malt is a non-alcoholic beverage which contains minerals and vitamins that gives you energy and power to keep you moving. Giant Malt brings out the giant in you.
You're welcome back to Business Time. The program is brought to you in association with Lele Foods and Giant Malt, and is powered by the Business and Financial Times newspaper and the BFT online. Now, the Business and Financial Times newspaper comes out Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's Africa's #1 source for business news, or you can always visit the BFT online to read some major and critical business news there. Now, we'll continue our conversation with trade agreements that Ghana has entered into. With me here is Deputy Minister for Trades and Industry, Murtala Mohammed. Thank you very much for your patience. I want to ask a more direct question with regards to the EPA. Is that agreement in force now?
No, you see, the EPA, Ghana, remember at the time when His Excellency the President was the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, they took a sub-regional position. And the sub-regional position was that we are not going to sign EPA until ABCD is done.
But Ghana had signed an interim.
No, we haven't. We have agreed on the interim. And the difficulty now is that Nigeria is a major player when it comes to the sub-region. Nigeria is a major player. Nigeria's position is that they are not going to sign. And that is affecting all of us. It is affecting the fish industries. It is affecting the mango industries. I was in Brussels with some mango producers sometime last 3 months. And I had the rare opportunity to have met the Secretary General of the WTO. And this has been a major concern. So it's a win-win situation. But the question is that Nigeria is not so much dependent. Nigeria is an oil economy. Until now, that even their budget is going through challenges. These are not things that falls within the EPA spectrum. We are not like Nigeria. So I think that the debate is ongoing. We are looking forward to seeing how best we can find a solution, but our position is very clear that all of us are going with the sub-regional position. But government, through the Ministry of Trade and His Excellency the President and government, will look at the possible ways of which we can benefit. It's not just about signing EPA, but what is in the interest of Ghana.
Let's wrap it up on the trade agreements with the Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Really, what are we looking at when we say this for Ghana as a country?
If you take Kenya, Kenya is the largest economy in Central Africa. Ghana is the second largest in West Africa. Ghana having trade relations with Kenya indirectly would have a trade relations with the entire bloc. Ghana having a trade relations with South Africa or Zimbabwe or Botswana, it means Ghana would have access to the entire market. And already we have sub-regional groupings, and there seemed not to be that coordination between and among those sub-regional groupings. You have COMESA, you have ECOWAS, mentioned them. Now, if you have a continental, trade relations, free trade area, what it means is that we would have the same custom duties, would also have the same access, such that if I'm sending my things to South Africa, the laws that are going to be implemented in terms of the things I'm exporting, which are important, must not be entirely different from what a South African who is also bringing things into this country. It helps deepen the view. Now, if you are moving from Nigeria to Ghana by road, I believe between Abuja to Lagos alone, you would have encountered not less than 100 checkpoints. Between Lagos to Benin, you would have encountered not less than 50 checkpoints. And within Benin to Lomé, you would have encountered a lot of checkpoints. And between Lomé to Aflao, you would have encountered a lot of. And maybe in Ghana, ours is a bit better, that you don't face a lot of such difficulties. Now, time is sine qua non to productivity. Now, if I need to spend, let's say 12 hours or 10 hours from moving my goods from Lagos to Ghana, because of these checkpoints, I may end up spending, let's say, 2 days, 3 days.
So this is not meant to remove tariffs.
No, it is, no. I mean, you can't remove tariffs. Unfortunately and sadly, taxation is the major source of revenue, I believe, to almost every economy. The difference between the developing and the developing world is that whereas they get a huge source of their revenue from taxation, from direct taxes, ours is on indirect taxes. That is the import-export duties. And invariably, prices of items certainly would also go high. You cannot remove entire tariffs, but there is going to be a uniform tariff system, such that you don't find some difficulty.
Which is what we've implemented with the external tariff.
Exactly. It's a whole, thing. But it all passes just to ease trade and facilitate trade. Trade facilitation is very, very important. It helps achieve the treaties, the objectives that indeed, occasion the setting up of ECOWAS and other sub-regional bodies. They also help to facilitate trade, that you don't spend so much. Mind you, those are not only time-consuming, they are also expensive. Now, if you're able to take out all of those things, it helps facilitate trade, and it also helps through, the movement of goods and services. That is something that is good for the continent of Africa and also good for us.
Well, we look forward to that time when we are really able to implement the... Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for coming. We've been speaking to Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Murtala Mohammed, and I hope that all of your trade-related questions have been answered. The program is Business Time, and we'll be right back.
From October 2015 to March 2016, buy one 5 kg bag of Cindy rice and you will stand the chance to win in fabulous prizes such as fridges, washing machines, LED TVs, home theaters, sound systems, laptops, and many more. It's all about the Cindy Rice giveaway promotion. So keep enjoying your favorite Cindy rice and keep winning these great prizes. You can redeem your prizes instantly with the coupon you find in the bag at all Ramani and Royal Bow depots nationwide, as well as selected wholesale outlets. Cindy rice, sweet aroma, great taste.
Welcome back. This is Business Time, and if you just tuned in, this is the final phase of the program where we check out how the commodity prices are faring on the commodity market and also how the Ghana cedi is doing against major trading currencies around the world. Let's take a look at that. So there you have it. That's how the commodities fared on the commodities market over the week, and that's the state of the currency, the Ghana cedi against major trading currencies around the world. Business Time is brought to you in association with Lele Foods. Lele Foods bring you products like rice, oil, mackerel, and any other food ingredients that you need for that very special occasion, whether you're cooking to please yourself, family, or friends. It's also brought to you in association with Giant Malt and powered by the Business and Financial Times newspaper, Africa's #1 source for business news. You find it on the newsstands Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Or you visit the bftonline.com for your latest business news. This has been Business Time. My name is Kemini Amano. We'll see you same time next week. Goodbye.